Goedenavond, welkom in de Brakke Grond. Mijn naam is Margot Dijkgraaf. Ik ben vanavond de presentator van deze Nacht van de Literatuur. Waar gaan we het over hebben? Over de smalle grens tussen vreugde en verdriet. Dat is de titel van het boekje wat is uitgegeven bij uitgeverij Cossé. Daar gaan we het vanavond over hebben met 7 schrijvers uit heel Europa. Vanuit Duitsland, vanuit Litouwen, heel Europa gaan we door. We gaan het hebben over Michel de Montaigne, zijn essay en ook over hoe het is gesteld in Europa met de literatuur.
La literatuur. La literatuur. La literatuur.
When I really write, I have the feeling, I just have to float along, and words approach me and sentences approach me.
How do you feel when you write?
I think I feel as free as we all do when we write, because, well, that's the thing. Why do you write? Because that's the only way, I think, to pronounce yourself or to articulate everything very much and very less frustrated than when you speak. So writing for me, I couldn't think of anything else to do.
Since I feel free and happy writing, I'm very interested in say other media, and so I feel even freer again having my means and my words and language, being able to write the story around the photos.
Always there is something unforeseeable in writing, and I think always that this is the most interesting magic moment of writing.
Why do we not want to live the daily life, but go out of it with philosophy or literature or with all these other resources? I think this is always the main thing. And it's also within my novels, but not directly, quite indirectly, I can say.
Irony was really important to keep distance with the story. Because when I started to write about, it became just a story. And it was, as I told you, it was just the raw material. And when I composed my sentences for the new version of the essay, I started to imitate not only the style of Montaigne, but his way of thinking. I mean, in his essay, every small fragment of every event of the personal life became a story, and the personal experience, he managed to translate the personal sensation, the personal experience to a general human experience. And that is the only thing that could be interesting in writing, not the personal life. Because the personal life of an author has to disappear behind the story composed.
Did you spend some time outside of your own country, your own place writing?
Well, it's a very a trendy word, I think, but it has to do with comfort zone. I like to get out of my comfort zone. I like to be alone. I like to be a bit scared. I'm very anxious and scared when I'm alone, but it's a good thing for my writing, I think.
No mother, no father, no wife, no children, no uncles, you know. I am from so-called Central or East Europe, strong family life. I was alone and I wrote, I don't know, 2 or 3 books. One of them was published, you know.
I spent a year in Rome at the Villa Massimo as a fellow, but
A year?
yes, almost. Yeah, it's like 11 months and 2 weeks or something, and I didn't write anything there, and I loved it.
Could you explain to those who haven't read yet your text what you mean by the Baroque and the classical mind?
It is, you know, it's like the gardens. In France, there is a certain style of garden very full of symmetry, you know, and very balanced, you know. And the English way, at least this is the image we have in France. The English way is much more messy and woody and in disorder, you know. In the Shakespeare plays, it's very messy, you know. The kings are meeting the robbers and the beggars, you know. And in the French tragedy of Corneille and Racine, and especially Racine, it can't happen because everything has to be in order and you don't have to mix things.
Everybody is divided between opposites. But this was a result of my research that creative people are divided by opposites more than less creative people.
I'd always like to use a tennis metaphor, you know. It's like Nadal or Federer, you know. I mean, I feel more on the Federer side. It doesn't mean that Nadal is not a good player, you know, and you can be a great champion playing like Nadal, and obviously he is, you know. So then it can be a question of taste, a question of feeling, you know.
Why should painting the sea realistically be so important if any idiot can take a photo of it?
What does it mean for literature, for a writer, to live in a world where the image is so sacrosanct?
Actually, I think it's a perfect situation because if people have the impression there are so many pictures and images around me, somebody has to pick. And that's what I do with words.
Now it's really different. There are very popular authors in media, but I think that personal presence, personal and I would say permanent presence of the author is dangerous for the literature. Because now the writer has to be a very interesting, very funny person. And usually writers are not.
10 or 15 years ago, maybe we were talking about, I got sort of depression, then this is the end of literature. We are the last generation, you know, internet and so on. But now I think the book is like pillow or knife or this.
It's a product.
Yeah.
There is a new phenomenon of writer, like everywhere, a writer shaped by media. The writer who is an expert of everything. He says his opinion about the quality of the toilet paper, about economy, and I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm afraid the French literature can go very long, you know. So.
Are you predicting the death of French literature here?
The death? Well, no. I mean, people die. Sometimes civilizations die, but no. I mean, the French literature won't die, but the agony can last very long.
Met het oog op eventuele ongenode gasten kunt u beter nooit in uw blote kont slapen. Mochten we het dragen van een pyjama niet prettig vinden, trek dan tenminste ondergoed aan.